So in Acts 13 verse 36, it says that now when David had served God's purpose in his own generation, he fell asleep, he died. He was buried with his ancestors and his body decayed. Essentially, he has a generation, his own generation. He died. He was buried. He had ancestors like everybody else. His body decayed. And, it's one of the verses that I like so much. It says, when David had served God's purpose in his own generation, it provokes a lot of prayerful thinking and thoughtful prayer as to a man who served God's purpose in his own generation. It does not tell us about the size of David's mansion. The Bible does not tell us about the number of David's servants or the number of the chariots that David had, or the amount of gold and silver that he had accumulated. This verse tells us that David served God's purpose in his own generation. And for me, it's the big thing I'm walking away with from this verse. The writer could have opted to say many things, many glamorous things which are shining as far as the physical world is concerned. We do not negate the resources that we need in this world for us to live on a day-to-day basis. But the verse doesn't seem to want to emphasize that. It only seems to want to say, he is a man who steadfastly, deliberately, intentionally decided he was going to serve God's purpose. And on top of that, he is a man who made that decision but was not perfect. Because there will constantly be that negative nagging voice that says that, no, but you are not perfect. You can't serve God's purpose in your own generation. But you still want to serve God's purpose when you are not perfect. We know we are the righteousness of God. 2 Corinthians 5:21, God made him who had no sin to be